Is everybody?
What'd y'all do last night?
I'm going to talk real close like this.
All right. You got something to say real quick right off the top?
Okay, buddy?
That was a cue for you to talk more, Jace.
Well, hold on. That was a dramatic pause and deep breath.
What's the difference between a dramatic pause and a pregnant pause?
Pregnant pauses, that
It's implied that there's
whatever's coming next.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's going to splash on you.
You've already had the gender reveal and you know it's coming.
You're about to have the best day of your life is what's about to happen.
So
why don't they call it like a bulbous pause?
Let me tell y'all, if Marcus Semien didn't do something in the playoffs, I was ready to come on here and yell at him and Brad for being too preoccupied with when they're having a baby day.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm real tired today.
Instead, he redeemed himself.
Me too, but why are you deep throating the mic? I know you're going to get close.
You told me this is what you want. I'm doing exactly what you want.
I didn't say that. You said I'm going to do this, and so I said okay.
Right? Doesn't every show? Doesn't he tell me to put my mouth all on the mic, just to slob on it? Doesn't he tell me that, Rylan?
Yeah, in kind of a repetitive motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like back and forth, back and forth, mm-hmm. back and forth.
Longitudinal oscillations.
You told me to really hold the base of the mic too with both hands, just kind of.
And if you want to move them around a little bit, then that's great too.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
And maybe take the other hand off your offhand and kind of caress the mic stand a little bit.
Brad, we're feeling good, man. The Rangers won the World Series yesterday. We're trying to have fun. And here you go, being a fun ruiner.
Yeah, instead of Rylan coming in here and throwing at Simeon's head for what did he take too much paternity leave for your liking?
For leading the league in hits and runs scored and being really good. No, but there was that whole deal. I guess it was between the wild card and DS or DS and CS, but there was a lot of chatter about he's about to have a baby and he was worried about missing a game. And he's got like 4 kids. But even if it was any kid above number 1, but honestly, having myself been a 2-time Cordish champion, I would say for any kid, you should do everything in your power to be present for that, to support your wife and help facilitate the process going as smooth as possible and successful. But if you're playing in the playoffs of a major sport, you get a pass. And if you're, I almost would have. I told Courtney 10 years ago that I would have a hard time missing going to a World Series game. Now, this wasn't World Series; it was in question. But so certainly, if I was playing in it.
So now
you've already had a bunch of kids.
Instead of having to issue that take, in 9 months, we're just going to have a bunch of kids named Simeon running around.
Possibly. Yeah.
Little Simeon.
But it didn't come to that because the man figured it out. He's a pro's pro. He did what he does. He did what he did.
Human dad's.
I don't think Simeon is a good first name for a kid.
Human dad's
podcast.
Human dad's
podcast.
Human dad's
podcast.
Human dad's
Get up off your ass.
Human dad's
podcast.
Human dad's
Podcast.
Human dad's
Podcast.
Human dad's
Get up off your ass.
Oh your mom.
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 Tell your mom.
Tell your mom to listen.
Tell your mom.
Tell your mom to listen.
Tell your mom to listen. Tell your mom to listen.
Oh. Talking to the dog.
Get up off your ass for the Human Dads podcast.
Dude, I got so much for the show today. You guys have no idea.
Before we get into all your content, can I issue a quick correction for myself?
Well, Brad, can he?
Yeah, don't let me get in the way and introduce us or do anything.
I don't. It's just a footnote, editor's note before we kick things off. A couple shows ago, when I was complaining about Dak Prescott, I traced back to a game against Atlanta where he got sacked a bunch, and I said Terrence Steele, but I meant to say Chaz Green.
There you go.
They both have E in their name, so
we all knew what you meant because he did get sacked like 7 times that day.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Now, back to
Go
you,
ahead.
Brad.
Brad, go ahead.
I'm Brad. I'm joined by Rylan and Jason on a, diametrically opposed emotional situation here where one, we should feel all energetic and happy, and I'm sure we do. But Jason already said this, maybe even, did you just say it just now, or was that before we're recording, that you're very tired, and I join you in those sentiments. And I'll share it here later, but I had a real fun night last night, and it has left me drained at 8:00 p.m. Today. So, that's how I'm doing. No need to ask. Rye, how are you?
It's about to ask.
I'm not tired at all. I'm very well rested. I paced myself yesterday. I stayed up late, reveling in the aftermath. But does it smell bad? Courtney's taken out the jack-o'-lantern carved pumpkin things, and she says they smell awful. I paced myself. I fell asleep probably at 1:30. Woke up at my usual 7 interface with a kid, jumped in the shower, started working. Drank, had 3, 4.
Just asked how you were doing. I didn't need
maybe 5 last night. Well, you all are saying you're tired. And when you say you're tired, that's how you're going to explain how you're doing. So that's what I did. Felt good all day. How about you, Jace?
Oh, well, Rylan, thank you for asking. I don't drink.
Why don't you lip smack again before you tell us that? Yeah.
See what I deal with? The guy has one bad night and he takes it out on me. Yeah, I'm in like a abusive spousal relationship with him.
I want you to know you have options.
Change the locks, honey.
Call Paula Locksmith.
Yeah, call Paula Locksmith.
As if I don't get that enough in my own house. People questioning
take my wife.
the way that I chew, or
whether you do everything at all times.
The loudness at which the crunching comes out of my. I don't get that enough at home, so I am glad that I can come here with my bros.
If you'd close your damn mouth when you eat instead of being one of these suck chewers. You look like a suck chewer, and I don't even care if that's offensive.
That is offensive.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not a suck chewer. No, I'm not. I'm not a suck chewer. I grew up with a suck chewer and a slurper, but he was deaf, so he didn't know.
I don't know why that is so funny, but it is funny.
Shout
out to all the deaf and hearing impaired. I'm sure most of them find that funny too.
I'm sorry. Keep going, Jace.
So I don't drink much anymore these days. I just
Jace, get closer to the mic.
Oh my god, fucking die.
Sorry. I'm in a not good mood. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I'm
in a weird mood.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
That's me. That's me.
You're my friend. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, I think it's most of my tiredness and my just general fatigue is like emotional fatigue. I had a very like an emotional
scream cry.
Like no, but like a release, just a release everywhere. Because it's been building up for a long time, and if you let it build up for a long time, and you
had the back, and you couldn't really do much. You were fairly immobile, and people were helping you wipe and putting on your shoes, and so when you start getting a little mobility, what?
I have a bidet. Number one, no one will ever help me wipe. I haven't used toilet paper in about 6 months.
Attaboy.
Anyway, I feel relieved, and I will say this, and I'm interested to hear what you guys think, especially Rylan, because I feel like Rylan and I are on the same level of Ranger fandom. Not that you're not a fan. I know that you are a fan. You roll
No,
with
that's
the
fair.
Rangers.
You guys, I certainly could certainly reminisce with you. There,
Yeah.
I got like The Rangers are my first love. Baseball is my first love in sports awareness. But I got like an 89 to call it the first strike. Then I go dark, and then
Right.
I don't pick back up until like 07. And I
Right.
went well into Banny Rooster days from 07. But after, I have not kept up with the past, call it 4 years. I really haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I in my most impressionable young years were around the Rangers. When I was like that 14, 15, 16 years old, I was watching a lot of Rangers, and so it was a big deal. But I was thinking last night as I was watching, I was trying to compare my feelings to 2011. Do you guys remember what happened in 2011?
Yes, I
Mavs
do,
won the
Jason.
championship.
Mhm.
It was a nice parade. I went and had some
Yes.
fajitas afterwards.
Dallas Mavericks won the NBA championship for the
Yeah.
first time in their
Trying to
franchise history.
think. What who won the football World Series that year? Is that
Rylan would know. Rylan will know.
That the Aaron Rodgers Packers that
I
January? Or are
think
you
that
talking
was
about
2010, so I guess that would be start of 11.
dog?
Yeah.
Feels like a safe bet to go with either the Packers or the Green Bay or the New England Patriots.
New
There you
England
go.
Brady's, the Beefo Brady's Bowl.
I do think the Rangers, now that I think on it, I do think they encountered what some people might call, not a good time.
I spent a
Yes.
lot of time at the ballpark that year. A lot of time. Probably went to between April and November. I probably went to 50 games.
That may have been the year that we had nachos together in the parking lot opening day.
No, I
I
think
don't
that
know.
was after the World. That was a couple years after the World Series
Okay.
because 2011 was my first opening day
Okay. All right.
in a string of about 8.
So I was trying to, because 2011 in terms of like sports feelings is like my barometer for maybe like how attached I am to the team. Last night was incredible and I loved it and I definitely got, very emotional, but it was not like 2011 for me.
Mm-mm. I would like
No.
to share in your sentiment and say that I have not been the same as a sports fan since 2011. It broke me.
Yeah.
There's a piece of me that's still back there, and it's very excited to see last night, but I've probably watched 12 games this season. I was trying to count it up. Maybe a dozen games this season. Almost every playoff game. Maybe missed 2 playoff games. Like, I feel like I missed the who they even play in the first round when those games are like 2:00. Baltimore,
Tampa.
Tampa,
Bay. Yeah.
Tampa Bay, and then the first Baltimore game was like at like 2:30.
Yeah, that was a weird
I didn't see any of those. But no, I completely agree with you. 2011 is the barometer. Like, that's probably the last time I watched 70 games in a season. That's how all of us are friends, was watching Rangers baseball while we were all online together
That's
in
true.
2011.
And
But I
even
did-
before, probably more like in 10 is when it really popped off hard. And then the Mavs were active in 11. And then the Rangers, it was just a snowball effect, right? Late 10,
Yeah.
then through 11, through basketball, and then right on into baseball again. And it did feel different. I don't know if like 2011 broke me because when we turned right back around in 2015 and had Toronto up 2-0, and had a lot of the same players on that team. I mean, I was every bit as invested emotionally, even though my expectations, I didn't know if we would win a series. I knew we weren't a better team at that point. My issue was I have so much other shit right now taking my attention because my kids back then, my kids weren't born. And then in 2015, 16, they were little. And now it's like
I
They
think
are
that
always
probably
doing
plays
stuff.
into it pretty big for the three of us, is that like our lives were at a different phase in 2011. Like there's no way like even if you wanted to, do you think you could watch 70 games right now and catch like what would you call it?
That I
Like
do
80% of those games?
because of the summer. I could do that because of the summertime for sure. I probably watched. Granted, I have Bally brag. I borrowed someone's login, but well, I paid for it and then couldn't watch baseball because even though I paid for it, and so then whatever. This year, I bet I watched at least if you count 5.5 innings as a game per the rule book, I bet I watched 30 something, which I think is pretty good for
I
a
don't think I've watched 30
man in my
games
time of life.
since the 15 season, which you're talking about. And at that point, like when it fell apart against the Blue Jays the way it did, that wasn't even heartbreak. That was just disgust. Like
Yeah.
that it was just like, and I was there for the elimination game. It was like 115 degrees outside that day. They were literally like running out of water. It was awful. It
Well,
was
I would
I
say
wa-
between 2010 and 2016, the last time, because in 2017 I knew they weren't going to be very good. You just knew.
mhm.
The 7 years from 10 to 16, I bet 5 of those years I watched or listened to over 120 games.
Yeah.
I probably watched 80 games this year, if I had to guess. So for me, it's not I was committed. I was as committed to baseball as I was basketball in 2011 this year. Like I really was into this team, but still it did not feel the same. And I don't know if it's because I don't know I mean the way that the Mavericks had to roll through the playoffs, the teams that they played, like it was just a different feeling. They were an underdog, like a clear underdog. They were playing like a juggernaut in the
Well,
finals.
they had a
It
guy that
was
we were all
Dirk.
connected to at that
Yeah,
point, like the Dirk.
yeah.
And the one missing thing, like they've got some cool stories on this team. They got a guy with swagger. They got a young guy who came out of nowhere. They got a couple of dudes who kind of came out of nowhere. They got your kind of your high profile free agent. They don't have that guy that
Well,
everybody
I
is.
was wondering that though. Like, what if Beltray was on this team?
I think I mean it's easy to look back and 2020 vision and everything, but like if they had that guy, I think the identity of this team still has him all over it. And there was like deep connections to guys like that. And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. Like I sometimes you just win different ways. I really don't think it's a bad thing that people should be like, oh, they just bought it or whatever. But like there's not a guy that you're connected to. There's certainly not a guy that you've watched grow and develop.
You don't feel deeply connected to Martin Perez. How about him though, dude? He first
Is
appeared
this his
in the majors with Texas in 2013.
is this his second or third stint with the team though? And I'm not
I,
talking
I
shit.
believe
I'm
I
just
believe
clarifying.
just second. I believe just
Yeah.
Okay.
second, but there was a Tommy John in there in the middle. No, one of my happiest moments last night was seeing the picture of Beltray holding the trophy. I
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
that
wanted to
was
give him
cool.
a hug because he, as far as I'm concerned, he earned one of those too.
I don't disagree with you. Did you see the Levi Weaver thread on
No,
Twitter?
I missed that.
Go look at his thread, and he draws all these parallels. He, kid from Appalachia, who wears number 32, and obviously he shows you a picture of Josh Hamilton. I believe that's also Evan Carter. Like he shows you like all of these. Here was the thought, and it didn't work out. He compares Corey Seager and Alex Rodriguez,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if it like he did it for like I don't know 9-10 players, and it was really cool. But it just made me sad all over again for fucking 2011. I'm thrilled for this team, but again, like I said, I wasn't invested, but just seeing it all and seeing some of those guys express their like happiness for this team just made me sad. Nelson Cruz retiring today, and I was just like, fuck. I love Nelson Cruz. He was one of my favorites on that team, just like anybody else. And damn, dude. Damn.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why, Brad? Because whether or not this team is in the playoffs next year or advances or whatever, you can look at it and tell that we're going to have the privilege of watching some really competitive baseball over the next handful of years. And over that time, I think you will develop that connection. This happens so quickly.
Yeah.
To go from 64 wins to 90 wins and then to string this together, it's different. It's like if the 09 team had made the World Series and won it.
Yeah. And flags fly forever. And so like the stress that I might have next year, or that thing in the back of your mind for one of your favorite franchises, like, will we ever get there? Will it ever happen? Just like when the Mavericks won, that sustained me for a decade. Maybe
No,
more.
now if they're competing for the pennant next season, you are on the ascension to annoying. You are no
True.
longer the
But not for
oh,
us.
we
And I
just
don't
got to
care about
get
anybody
one.
else.
You are going to be the annoying.
See, Brad, we
fandom.
like the Cowboys, so we're not worried about feeling that way for our team.
That's
That's
right.
No,
your
no,
problem.
no. But you like the Cowboys, and that's not what I'm saying. Everybody else hates you for liking the Cowboys. You hate the Astros for being they have ascended to the annoying fandom.
We
But
just hate
because
Houston. They
yeah,
don't
that's
belong in the
also
AL.
that team's
They should be
trash.
they should be in the NL first and
it's a
foremost.
team that's trash, and all of that makes sense. You would not have any of those feelings if they weren't playing relevant baseball for the last 6 to 7 years.
True, but I don't think I would have had those feelings about Arizona had they won and been competing next year. Like
I don't know, man. You watch that Arizona team, it's got some annoying ass dudes who I do not like watching them dink and dunk their way onto base and then wait for a inopportune throw to
You don't like small ball?
but that's even like small ball to like the annoying pesky degree. I don't know.
It's
If
why I
it was
love baseball. There's a
if
million different ways to play. It's a lot like I understand that it's nowhere near as popular anymore as football for a number of reasons, but in terms of the ways to beat your opponent and finding ways within the scheme of the game to beat your opponent, baseball has a lot of depth, and that's I don't care if you scratch and claw. I don't care if it's all 3-run bombs. Like it's all part of it.
to be clear, I would be a really big fan of their version of situational baseball if it was a team that I liked.
Yeah. Well, it's
You
the
know what I mean?
John
course.
Stockton theory. You hate him,
Yeah.
and then he's on your team, and you love him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was really cool. I was not connected to the team like teams of the past. I think, Jace, and I'm not even like a big, again, said it 9 times now. I'm not even big rose-colored glasses Rangers future. I think it's the most likely scenario is that they're a better team next season.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's a very fair assessment based on all the injuries they have, all the guys that weren't playing that are going to be with the team next year, and like their rotation is going to be better for sure.
You think they have to have a better rotation and they have to have a better bullpen. And now you start looking at their lineup and they've got enough young guys that you would think, okay, what's the likelihood that they progress or regress? And if they regress by like 10 to 15%, still pretty strong outing from a very powerful lineup.
That's
But
my whole point. You're
it's
gonna have
very
good
likely
baseball.
it's very likely that they improve.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's why people said that they were a year ahead. I don't necessarily agree with that because they were a really, really good team in the regular season. They were a 100-win team. They lost like 30 games, but with by blowing saves or their bullpen blowing leads. So they were only 10 games away from being a 100-win team. So it's not like they were like some Cinderella. Like I read a story today about how like unlikely a champion they were, and I'm like, nah, not really. But to your point, like their lineup in theory could be like they're not losing any major pieces next year at all.
Let their lineup stay the same, or like I said, regress by like 10%, but then give them a bullpen or even a mid-game improvement.
Right. And they have a guy in the minors who looks to be really, really, really good, and may get called up next year. So
Maybe.
he's really, really good.
Who's he knocking out of the lineup
Well,
to where he could get regular everyday impact?
I mean, I think that if anybody sees a potential weakness in this team, it's like an outfield spot. Center field offense and defense is not great. Evan Carter is at this moment is not an everyday player because he can't hit lefties at all. Now hopefully that changes, but like it would be hard for him to face lefties every day when he's just lost up there. So Wyatt could come up here and easily take one.
Put
of
him
those
between
spots.
the pipes, and you think you can just pencil him into center field?
I'm just saying, I think he's up at some point next year. He was crushing it at every level this year.
Where's Profar in all this?
Happy for that guy. As somebody who has slept wrong,
is he sleeping in on a cot in Newberg's garage, or what's his deal?
hey, look, as somebody who has slept wrong on my neck and then felt like it caused significant injury to the left side of my body for months, I can relate to what that man went through. I don't think we should be mad at him. Obviously, he wasn't the one that kept putting him out there or putting the idea of him on a roster.
Shout out Edison Volquez. Shout out Neftali Feliz.
Nefty.
Shout out Benji Molina, who hit for a cycle. Shout out to Kevin Elster, to Kevin Mensch, to all the Kevins that ever played for the Rangers.
Reimer.
Odabe McDowell.
Colby Lewis. Really wanted one for Colby Lewis.
Darren Oliver.
I saw a reference today on Twitter to
Ryan
Glenn and Doug Davis.
I don't know if I'm ever going to forgive Darren Oliver.
Man,
bro, and frankly,
he did
Wash.
Everything you needed right up until Wash put him where he didn't need to be.
Yeah.
It's Wash. Listen, love Wash, but listen,
we don't need to do. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this.
Hey, do you guys want to do you guys want to hear a quick report from the field on Red Ribbon Week?
Oh yeah.
We just had it last week. So
yeah, we did too.
I was asked yesterday if I do drugs. So
with the concept, so you're familiar with the concept. Well, whatever day it was last week, Layla came home, 6th grader, and she says they wanted us to sign a pledge that said that we would be alcohol, nicotine, and drug free. And so I scratched out alcohol and I signed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said, I'm not going to sign it. Because to her, she's thinking about this as a human being, not as an 11-year-old. She's not trying to go crush a 12-pack of natties, but she's like thinking, but we all drink alcohol. This doesn't make any sense.
Jace, you know what she did?
Attorney in training. She marked up the contract and sent it back for revisions.
You know what she did? She looked her teacher right in the eyes and she said, do you really think I'm going to live a life where I don't have an aperitif? You really?
For sure.
A little craft cocktail.
You really think that a little julep isn't in my future? Is that what you really think? You really think I'm going to start Sundays after I'm 25 years old without a Bloody Mary? That's what you think, lady?
Little Moscow Mule in her future.
I do like a good Moscow Mule.
Me too, dude.
That's a popular one around here.
Summertime is Moscow Mule time as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I know we moved on from Rangers talk. Can I tell you what about the end of the game for this guy?
Yeah, we really stopped on how Jace felt and celebrated, and we didn't really get to hear how you watched and celebrated.
Yeah,
Jace, did you watch at home or did you watch with some friends?
No, I watched it at home alone.
Okay, all right.
No pants?
Oh no! Are you kidding me? There's no way I could wear pants. I knew if they won, those pants are
come off anyway.
Yeah, Yeah, no doubt.
So what about
So
you,
I
Brad?
watched the whole game, and for a couple of so like we're not. How do I put this? Over here, okay, the lovely woman that I live with, and I love her so damn much. Okay, tears in my eyes, guys. I love her so much. She is conditioned, and she is used to, right? Football Sundays, sometimes football Mondays, now and again football Thursdays,
Mhm.
right? She's used to NBA time of the year where there's just random basketball, Mavs and or
2 3
otherwise,
nights a week.
just on the screen. She's used to these things. She is
Yes.
not accustomed to baseball being on the screen anymore. And you talk about in 2011, I used to have a full side room with another TV where it was very
Whoa.
common. It was
Whoa.
very common
Rylan,
for the two
listen
of
to this
us
guy
for her
Side
to
room.
for her to be watching
with a TV.
Housewives and me to, and I think about the TV that I was watching it on was actually, what are they called? Cathode braid tubes.
No
It was
way.
in 2011. Very nice one. In 2011.
Doesn't matter. It was 2011.
I think
It was nice
that's,
because you took good care of it since
I know, but
2002.
I think that stopped being the case in 2011 is when that's why
That
I
had to
make the
be
joke.
towards the very end. Yeah, I think our last one probably was done in 09 or 10. So I'm right there
So
with you.
she's not accustomed to baseball being on, and she's certainly not accustomed to it being on and me being fully engaged because, as we all know, playoff baseball is tense and there's a ton of what feel like high leverage moments and it's
It's
stressful.
really pitch by pitch by pitch. I mean,
It really is.
You're looking at the count, you're looking at what they've thrown, you're looking at location. I had to, like I talked about, I didn't party too hard because I don't like to get too effed up, buzzed up, silly during a
Because
game
you're
because I
into the
want to be,
game.
yeah.
You're locked in. So she was like, I could feel it. I wanted them to win last night so that baseball as a whole would be over, right? Obviously, you want the Rangers to win because they're the home team. And like we have all said, I got Ruben Sierra was my guy. Julio Franco was my brother's guy. Steve Bouchel, Petey Duncavilla, Oda B. McDowell. I could go on and on. That was my first sports awareness was the Rangers. I want to say 89. But it was time for baseball to be over. So we watched the whole game, and she's being a good trooper and just hangs out. And sometimes she's asking questions, whatever. We're getting through it. Out middle of the eighth, I decide, time honored tradition. It's time for dad to go get some Halloween candy out of somebody's Halloween bucket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Very
walk into the
familiar with that move.
walk into the kitchen. I am searching for Halloween buckets. I look over at the dining room table. I see a Halloween bucket, but it's completely empty.
Uh-oh.
I turn to said lovely wife who I love so much and I say, did these MFers do they think they're going to hide their Halloween buckets? Is that what they're thinking? So
Can't be
she was
bad.
like, you need to go look because you know how they like to play with them. We're not worried that they ate them or are, going crazy. They like to play with them and use them like trading cards and like trade candy and do all
Yeah.
that stuff.
It's a big
They
player in
don't
my house, too.
overindulge.
Yeah.
So mind you, middle of the eighth. Maybe we're one out into the bottom of the eighth. I don't know. And walk into Shep's room at first, and I spot Candy, and I start walking to the candy. And as I walk, he kind of awakens from his slumber, sits up, and starts making a.
Oh no.
Mm.
This is making me tense even listening to you talk about it. I don't even like to hear you talk about it. Seriously.
I won't go into full detail, but I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, what? And I was like, are you okay? And he's just kind of making these noises, got his eyes closed. I'm like, hey, are you awake? And he says yes. And in slow motion, my brain is like, you know what's about to happen. Grab the kid. grab the but it's slow motion in my brain, and I no sooner than I reach out my arms does he pollock his whole bed right there in front of me.
Oh my god, dude!
Why, dude? I feel like that you're getting a disproportionate amount of these events. Like your luck
Twice in 1 month. Twice in 1 month, my man.
Your luck is not paying off right now.
The other one,
you're good for 4 years. You're not going to have a vom event for 4 years.
The other one was in the back of mom's car just a month ago.
In the car,
and if you want it,
the worst.
It's absolute worst. And if you want an even better throwback, this is 2 November 1sts in a row.
All right, now here's my question. Are you the one that can remember the date or week in a month that something like this happened, or is it Molly? Because in our house, it's Courtney.
It's definitely me out of the two of us, but the only reason I can remember that in this situation is because it was birthday. Their birthdays are October 30th, Halloween,
right,
November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we were
birthday problem last year.
We were celebrating Shep's birthday, celebrating both their birthdays, and he killed it. The first, it was supposed to be like a 3-night event starting on the 1st, right? And he killed it on the first night because he got sick. And so, yeah, he got sick. And you're scrambling to clean up. You're trying to get him into the shower. You're moving everything around. I have completely forgotten about baseball at this point. I don't even have my phone because I'm trying to do the delicate dance that you do with all the stuff and the things and the child and moving him around, get it all situated, get back to the TV. Literally, as I look at the TV, they're panning to Boch, and maybe he won the World Series. Maybe he just farted. You don't really know. You can't really tell the difference. He kind of, I think, leans over and hugs Mike Maddox. And I just feel like, again, I wasn't very invested, but I just kind of feel like cheated. Like I never got to, I
You
never
didn't get
got
that
to,
moment.
I never got to, sometimes when you're having fun times and there's like a climactic moment, I never got to.
What does that mean?
And I never just got that quenched feeling. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah, that sucks, man. That's terrible timing. And you are owed by the universe. I said 4 to be funny, but statistically, I think you are owed 2 vom-free years.
Like, what do you do at that point? You're like, oh, let me rewind this World Series victory. Like, there's
No.
just.
Was it just a single vom? A one vom back to bed?
That's what we thought, Jace. And we had a particularly we didn't like that we were doing this. And by we, I mean the other person involved in the he was not a fan and
Y'all
didn't like it.
fun? No. Okay.
And asked me, hey, Dad, made him a pallet on the floor, went into protocol like you do. And,
Sure.
He asked me, hey, will you just hang out? And I said, cool. And I gave it a good 45 minutes of watching Celebration sitting on his floor, kind of next to him, leaned up against his little, what we call movie chair. It's like a little beanbag.
Lays on the floor and has
recliner thing.
Quasi chair shaped, but you sit on the floor and lean back onto it.
Yeah,
I think Layla
exactly.
has one of those.
So I sat leaning up against it. He sits in it. I lean against it. But so I sat there for like 45 minutes and he's dozing. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was just one and done. I miss the second situation. He's got the trash can next to him. And I'm like, dude, if you feel it, wake up facing the trash can. And I missed the second occasion. I think I left and 90 seconds later,
Oh, no.
I was back in there cleaning up another blanket. Actually, that blanket was R.I.P. That blanket.
Yeah.
Um,
You had to let it go.
Sometimes there's no coming back from this.
It was penetrated with such force and numbers that there was just no coming back. So that just went straight to the trash can. And then, I've talked about how last year I remember being so proud of him because I thought he really just gutted it out. But this time he got hit with it just ain't stopping, bro. It just ain't stopping. And he didn't have anything left on like the ninth time. And he just
Oh no.
he just looked at me and he said, please make it stop. Please
God.
make it stop. What do you do for your guy? What do you like? There's just nothing. And so eventually, yeah, he went to sleep. Um, After that second, dude, that second time was just like a 25-minute inning. Like he could not get through the lineup. Just every time he had 2 strikes, it was just bang again. Okay, now we're gonna get out of here. Bang again. Okay, and by the end of that 25 minutes, like he was a shell of a person. It wasn't good.
So you've talked about this before. All while this is happening, what's going on in the other kid's bedroom? How's she doing?
I'm gonna start whispering. I'm gonna get real close to the mic. She's doing quite horribly.
Yeah.
She has the biggest, absolutely gigantic fear of getting sick now. And there were tears. And I feel as bad as I feel for the one that's going through it, I also feel because like what do you what do you tell her to be like? What do you tell her to be like? Hey, no way, it's not coming for you. There's no way here.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know what you say.
You're gonna be invincible. Like there's no way it can touch you.
Have you considered calling the doctor and being like, "Listen, I need a supply of the dissolvable anti-nausea meds on hand."
Well, I think we have it.
Well, because
I think we have the sublingual,
tongue?
whatever you call it.
Yeah. Because maybe that'll make her feel better to know that, like, hey, if you start feeling it, we'll pop one of these bad boys in. You're good.
And if you really are sincerely like worried and scared about something, how's your stomach feel anyway? Not great. So then if you feel that way and you can't help how you're feeling, and then you got your bro in the next room over, like putting his liver out into the trash can, like you're gonna feel a little queasy just by nature, even if you're not in the least bit actually sick. I just think
No
that's
doubt.
par for the
And
course.
I explained my opinion of if you have to wonder, if you are worried one way or the other and you have to wonder, then you're not.
Yeah.
Because when
you'll know.
Because when you are going to, or when you are not feeling good, you are not feeling good. You don't have to sit there and be like
go back to the show I did after I had the
we all
cashews
knew.
and the smoothies.
We all knew.
We knew. It was just a matter of when. I was just delaying the inevitable there.
Yeah.
Gutting it out.
Poor kids. That sucks, man.
Poor kids.
How's he feeling today?
No incidences of today. We got a clean sheet, so to speak. I think we will be headed back to school and looking to ace another spelling test tomorrow.
All right.
And then for the other one, I don't know, man. I feel bad for her. He said something that has stuck with me, and I think I probably shared this on the podcast because we've been doing this long enough. But when he was 3 or 4 years old, he said, "Dad, why do we have to be born to have strep throat?"
Bro, we had one. Maya was born to have strep throat for the first like 3, 4, 5 years of her life. I understand. Sometimes
But he was
like
like asking, like if we were put into this life, why is it that this is like being sick with something where you can't swallow?
Dude,
and you have to swallow for survival.
You have to remind him that we aren't the only things on this planet. There's some others that are like trying to fight just as hard as we are. And
I'm trying to have that big conversation with him, but now with her, she's older and she realized it's not the why. It's the realization of, man, you cannot control any of this.
Yeah.
and you just get to sit here and wait to see if any of it is going to happen to you.
Yeah, it
And
sucks.
there's no way around it. You're connected to this thing called life, so you're going to be sick and hurt and scared and worried. And, some people deal with that realization better than others, and others, really struggle with it to the point to where it, takes a mental health toll. And to see your kid kind of come to that realization and enter into that awakening. I know I'm not telling Jason anything he hasn't experienced, but it's what's the way I want to put, like, sad is not the way. It's like, I don't know how else to put it other than, like, it's like watching them get hit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's watching them get thrown into the fray, and then that realization washes over their face that, that there is a fray, that this isn't just some sweet, cute little place that we get to be a part of.
Yeah, it sucks, but all we can do as parents is like provide that safety net and let them know that things are not as. I've only been able to shelter you from the bad stuff that happens in this world for X amount of time, but just know when you're ready to vom, I'm going to be holding that bucket for you, and I'm gonna put the wet rag on the head. I'm gonna change the sheets.
Oh, I'm going to
pull a
answer the
barf.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you, and that's all
Yeah.
we can do, and the rest will just have to, unfortunately, we just have to process ourselves.
The rest of this shit, you're on your own.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. Right. Were you
So-
about to say something?
Nope.
I thought the way you addressed the mic, I thought you were about to.
I just wanted to be ready.
Oh,
Can I
Rick Carlisle said, "Be ready."
I know that we're already at 48 minutes. We had a lot to talk about today, and I'm excited for the next show too because I have some other stuff. I will get kind of back in the swing. We've had a little bit of a lull, had some work trips that we're having to deal with, and some baseball, all sorts of things. So we'll get back in the swing. But I did have one thing that I actually prepared for the show, and I'm wondering if we could do that now.
by all means, bud.
You guys know what TikTok is?
Well, yeah, I do actually. I heard about it from you two.
Wow. Look at that response.
My texts fill up with TikTok links from these two
We
very
haven't
guys
sent
right
any
here.
links because you cuss at us, threaten to remove us from your phone.
So
Physically remove you from my phone. You will no longer be on my phone.
So I came across a couple of TikToks from a guy whose whole bit is that he does top 10 list of like different things.
I already know where he's going. This is all for you, Mr. Rowe. Let's go. Fire away.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Well, anyway, this guy did two top 10 lists.
Mhm.
One of the top 10 lists is top 10 safest cities in Texas.
Oh, here we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one is top 10 most dangerous cities in Texas. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to start with the most dangerous cities in Texas. And I as I look at this list, I would say 9 out of the 10 cities on this list are easily recognizable. One of them, I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know it very well. So let's see how many you guys can name. These are the top 10 most dangerous cities in Texas. Go ahead.
Mesquite.
Mesquite is number 10 on the list.
Nailed it. Right?
How is it measured? Is it per capita?
TikTok.
Or is it just total?
It's TikTok, man.
I think if I had to guess that he is going a per 100,000.
Yeah.
Violent crime per 100,000.
He's using a source. I mean, he's using a source. It's not like this TikTok guy is a stats guy.
No, I think if you were to probably search this, you could probably find like a USA Today article or some shit.
There's multiple ones that make the rounds every couple of years.
I think it's a violent crime per 100,000 people.
Yeah, because it's number.
I don't know,
like,
man.
This is not. Well, okay. I guess we're done here.
Mesquite,
You already
Beaumont,
said Mesquite.
Houston, San Antonio, Odessa, Lubbock. Who else we got? Did I say I'm at 7?
Yeah.
There's one that's got like a 2 name that also I don't know.
Jim Ned.
It's a weird name, if I remember correctly. I don't think there's any other North Texas
right,
cities.
I'm going to go down the list, starting with number 10. Number 10, Mesquite. You got that.
Okay.
One. Number 9, Pasadena, Texas. Do you guys know where that is? I don't.
Houston suburb.
Okay.
Or exurb.
Pasadena. Number 8, Wichita Falls.
There we go. Forgot Wichita
Interesting.
Falls.
Yeah, I never knew that. Yeah.
Odd, because it's just a mid-sized city with a smallish college, and
Yeah.
fuck if I know what else is there.
I'm just
Former
assuming
home of the
all
Dallas
these.
Cowboys.
I'm just assuming all these mid-sized cities out in the middle of nowhere that are like the hub for that out in the middle of nowhere
They
place
just get everybody.
are all dealing with drug issues, either pill and or meth wise. And
anybody that's like just trying to struggle by, they're going to go to that place because that's the closest feasible place.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Number 7, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Okay. It's a
Corpus
massive
Christi was
place
nice.
now.
Okay. Number 6, home of the Big Texan. Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo. I forgot Amarillo. All those West Texas places
Home
are
of
on
the
the
Chicken
list.
Express, where in 2009, Courtney and I heard a 7-year-old boy utter the phrase, quote, his mama and daddy was doing a beer bong, end quote.
There you go. That's something you never forget. Number 5, Brad said it, San Antonio.
It's one of my first tweets.
Number 4, Houston, Texas.
Yeah, fuck them.
Number 3 is nothing but the next 3 are nothing but Friday Night Lights.
Houston's a dump. Number 3,
Midland,
Beaumont.
Odessa.
Beaumont.
Beaumont's a good one. Yeah.
Number 2, Lubbock.
Yeah, fuck them too.
And number 1, the oil capital of Texas, home of the Roughneck, home of Tim McGraw, Boobie Williams,
Booby
Coach.
Miles.
Odessa, Texas.
Odessa, Texas.
And that's because of the transient population, because of the seasonal jobs. It gets a lot of just chaos and whatever.
So that's the bad. That's the bad in Texas. Anything surprise you there?
Not really. Now that I think about it, like Rylan said, transient roughnecks. The oil people ain't up to no good, man. They go.
I would like to tell though, there is a narrative in this world, and part of it has to do with Texas, and it has to do with who's in charge where. And I think we know who's in charge in West Texas, and I think we know who wants you to think that border towns are dangerous. Who's in charge there? And the fact that although there are obviously some inherent dangers in being a border town, no question, absolutely, none of them were on that list.
Yeah, none of them listed in the top 10.
No El Paso, no Del Rio, no Eagle Pass, no Laredo,
nope.
McAllen.
All right, so let's do the top 10 safest cities. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm not going to lie to you. I have not heard of the vast majority of these cities.
Fairview.
Okay, stop playing the game. You already know the answers because you saw the TikTok.
Okay. Sorry.
Number 10. Rylan, do you have any guesses of cities that you think will be on this list?
Yeah, but just read them. Just read them.
Okay. Number 10, Heath, Texas.
Rockwall,
right outside of
Exurb.
Rockwall. Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of beef with this side of the list. The list you just mentioned are fairly populous when compared to the list you're about to share now. Like I think most of the cities you're about to name now have less than like 40,000 people. And that might even be a stretch.
It's per capita, dude. That's
okay.
How it goes. Number 9, another North Texas city, Colleyville, Texas.
Colleyville, Texas.
Colleyville, Texas, beautiful place. Very safe. Right?
Yeah.
Number 8, San Elizario.
Not familiar.
Never. Where's it at? Now I want to look this up.
San Elizario. Elizario. San Elizario. Number 8
It
on our list.
is. Looks like there's a real mission there.
Oh. Well,
It is it's a border town southeast of El Paso.
There you go.
Oh
There
my
you go.
goodness.
Oh,
There you go.
Dan Patrick and Greg Abbott are going to be so mad when they
They
hear
don't have a
this.
fentanyl problem there?
There you go.
A rainbow
not.
fentanyl problem?
How are they not in awash in rainbow fentanyl?
I don't understand it.
Number 7, Lumberton, Texas. Anybody familiar with Lumberton? Ever heard of Lumberton before?
I'm
No,
going to
is
guess
it
somewhere
where
in the
there's
hill
trees?
country.
Yeah, probably somewhere where it's tree lined.
Lumberton is a very small town, it looks like.
By Dripping
And
Springs or some shit.
Yeah,
it is about
by Wimberley.
15 miles. It's about 15 miles north of Beaumont. So
Oh,
it's
there you
southeast.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all right.
It's
All right.
close to Silsby and Kuntz
Mm,
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
easy,
and
dude.
Beaumont.
Easy.
Avondale,
Number 6,
Maurice.
Bel Air, Texas. Anybody know where Bel Air,
Okay.
Texas is?
Houston suburb.
Okay. another
Okay.
Houston suburb.
Uncle Phil lives there with Aunt Viv.
Yes. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Fairview, Texas.
Right
Allen.
off of 75, touches Allen, touches Lucas,
So we've got a lot of North Texas represented here. Number
touches
4,
McKinney as well.
We the
Fair
best.
Oaks Ranch. Fair Oaks Ranch. Never.
That's
got
got to have like 6 people in it. I don't even understand. You
Fair
can't have a 3-name city. It's got to be a
Fair Oaks
community.
Ranch is far north exurb of San Antonio. Actually, I
Okay.
shouldn't say far north because it looks like it's probably only about a 10-minute drive to Fiesta, Texas. So northern
Okay.
suburb of San
Okay.
Antonio.
Number 4, Fair Oaks. Number 3, you know this place well, Highland Village, Texas.
Yep.
This guy grew up on the border of Louisville and Highland Village. Highland Village
Wow.
started as a lake town for all of the money in Highland Park.
Mhm. There you go, Highland Village, a beautiful
There
place.
you go. Yeah.
Number 2, Fulshear, Fulshear. I don't never heard
Made
of
up town.
Fulshear.
Not
That's
real.
Sounds made up.
Houston, isn't it?
Sounds
Part of
made
the
up.
simulation. Not real.
Pretty sure that's Houston area. That
Not a
one
real town.
is. Yeah, it's far west Houston, past
that
Sugar Land.
That leaves us with number 1. I would love to take some guesses here. Any guesses for the safest spot in all of Texas?
I know what it
Safest
is.
city.
I can't guess.
It's the only one where they let me decide how to spend their money.
The safest place in all of Texas is a beautiful little corner of paradise right off of Texas 114 at the junction of 170 called Trophy Club.
Trophy
goddamn
Club
right.
Texas. They're you know what I heard about Trophy Club Texas is their cops don't even wear bulletproof vests.
They don't need to. You know why? Because they got that eagle protecting that whole goddamn
That damn
neighborhood.
15-foot eagle is standing over that whole thoroughfare out there.
It's funny you say that.
Think about
because-
stealing something. You're going to hear a caw. You turn around.
As
and
this new school year has sprung, I've been getting anecdotal reports of a well-known officer standing in the school zone near one of the elementaries. There are 2 elementaries here. So of an officer standing in the school zone without a vehicle, just him there on the main road going to the school with a radar gun, which honestly, not a bad idea. No objections there whatsoever. However, the note here as to why I've been told about this is that he has been spotted in, I'm not going to call it full tactical gear, but I'm not going to call it full tactical gear.
You never know, dude. You
It's
never
his
know when
ammo.
shit's gonna go
I don't
down.
know for sure, but I know
You
for
don't
sure it's
know-
protective body armor to some degree, maybe a minimal degree. I
Rylan,
couldn't tell you. I don't know the details.
you-
And absolutely camo, which is hilarious because his camo there should be brick and mulch.
To hold to hold up a radar gun in the school zone to make sure people are bruising bugs. That's What?
Yeah, I guess
This is why
I
y'all
might
are
as
the
well just
safest,
tell
is
y'all
because
the
y'all
truth.
take this is why y'all are the safest though, is because even your speed pit cops are like martial law, full blown tactical gear.
It's ironic, isn't it? Given the degree of input I had for a number of years.
If you've ever listened to the podcast and thought, man, Jason just sounds a little less at ease, a little more anxious than the other guys. I'm not but about a 10-15 minute drive away from Mesquite, Texas. Okay. That's where I live. That's who I'm with. Those are my people.
Just want to
Okay.
note that Jason and I are equidistant from Mesquite, Texas.
Those are my people. Okay. So that's why maybe you may see me a little more on edge. I have to keep my head on a swivel. Okay.
Real quick, Jace, just give me the northern parameter, the eastern parameter, the western parameter, and the southern parameter of Mesquite, Texas. Let me know where
and
those.
So I'm always thinking,
Just
hey,
name some streets real quick.
it can go down at any time, right?
Just give me some streets real quick. Just
if I'm passing by Town East Mall,
far western part of Mesquite is where? What street are we calling?
Maybe I catch a stray. Maybe I don't. I don't know. But the point is, I got to live my life.
Name me one exit in Mesquite, Texas, off of a highway.
I think that's why I can relate to the everyman. I think because I understand what y'all are going through.
Name 2 streets in all of Mesquite.
I understand what it's like to not know, if tonight's going to be your last night, dude. That's what I know. That's how I live. And
could you tell me where one high school is in the city of Mesquite?
Am I a hero? I don't know. I do the podcast for y'all, but I wanted to have that conversation just so that our listeners knew kind of what they were dealing with. That's all I'm saying.
As a follow-up supplement to that, Ginger, no, this fucking dog.
Real weird follow-up.
I can't let her out here because she's figured out how to wiggle out through the construction fence. And so she sits here and paws at the door or at the window the whole time. And I mean, no matter how many times. No. Quick supplemental to that.
Just want you to know, if she gets out, things are going to be okay. She's in the safest city in Texas.
Really,
I agree, but she's already got out like 3 times this week. And I think Courtney's starting to get a little
but
pissed.
They did have that weird coyote with some weird disease.
They have the zombie coyote. Yeah, with the zombie deer tick disease or whatever they got.
Every day or two, I get emails from the school. Sometimes it's from the elementary, sometimes it's from the middle, and sometimes it's just from the school district, Northwest ISD, of which my wife is a proud employee thereof.
Yeah.
October 31st, 2023, digest. One new message from Northwest ISD today. Headline: private event in Trophy Club this week to cause gunfire noises from blank rounds.
Was there track meet?
Families of students at Trophy Club schools, please be aware that in the coming days, the town will host a canine training competition event that will result in gunfire noises.
I was close.
They got to signify the cause for alarm, as blank rounds are being used and monitored by experienced firearm armorers. The event, the Protection Sports Association Nationals, will take place from November 2nd to 5th in Independence Park, located between Medlin Middle School and Beck Elementary School. Gunfire noises from blank rounds are expected to be heard beginning at 7:15 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. During the Friday session, the sounds will be patterned in 10-minute intervals, with the noise concluding by mid-afternoon, also known as when school gets out. During Saturday and Sunday, the sounds will be short bursts that will last until the evening. Now, here's my favorite part.
Oh, okay.
Northwest ISD is appreciative of the town and the Trophy Club Police Department providing these details to share with families. For more details about the event, please view this page. We're appreciative that you had the mercy to tell us why we're going to hear gunshots.
Y'all guys want to go to, what is it called?
Between the middle school and elementary school.
What's it called? Independence Park?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
East or
Y'all want to go
west?
see?
It will be in the east.
Y'all want to go see some Belgian Malinois and some German Shepherds and some Rottweilers just absolutely chase
see some
some
pretty-
dudes down?
Kick-ass dogs doing some pretty kick-ass
Hey.
shit.
Oh, I'm familiar with a
let's not
PPT
downplay-
competition. Yeah,
Let's not downplay this at all.
out of the three of us,
I just would like to point out
Oh, here we go.
the level of fealty. Thank you, sir, for telling me why I'm going to hear gunshots.
Hold on,
Where
Riley.
does
He
that
said
where does that
when-
come from in people? I don't
when
get
Brett says of the three of us is about to be good. So go ahead, Brett.
I just want to say, of the three of us, I guarantee you I have watched more personally protection trained dog competitions than you two.
Okay,
I guarantee
please
you.
take that audio. I was silent. Take that entire audio, and we need a new theme song for you. Yeah, Rylan, I get emails when the police expect there not to be gunfire, actual gunfire. So they don't want
we
me.
anticipate no threats today.
Yeah.
You know what?
Threat
Yeah, the
level has been
emails.
temporarily downgraded to green from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
The
We'll
emails
give you
we
another
get
update within the hour.
are next door alerts that are like, I was just walking my dog and I heard I heard a
think there's a
very
lot of that here,
loud
too.
sound off of Beltline and Shiloh. Can anybody confirm?
Dude, next door has gotten wild. Now it's stuff like
It's too much.
my daughter is in a relationship and I'm just really happy for her. She's been through a lot. And we're like, dude, why does that belong on the neighborhood page?
It's
Like-
it's Reddit for people born before 1965.
It is wild, man. I love it. I love it.
So anyway, if you want to see some cool dogs, this weekend, starting tomorrow, is the time.
Right on, man.
Tell your
uh,
mom.
Just be ready for some gunshots.
Just to clear the record, I have no issue whatsoever with any of it. However, the wording of "thank you so much for telling us about the gunshots," I just can't get over that. I don't understand that. Like, of course they told you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know.
What a show, guys. Couple GTs for both of you. Especially you,
Thank you,
Brad.
man. I appreciate it. I was
You've been
thinking
through a
about
lot.
what the other notifications were going to be connected to that email where they were like, and here's what the people are going to look like. And maybe they look a little different than the rest of
Oh.
us. But, and their guns aren't real. Just everybody, their
Just so
guns
you
aren't
know.
real.
All orange tip, we promise. Yeah, no.
They don't have real guns.
No,
And they're
usually
dogs.
the
I know
other-
they're dogs.
The other messages are the band fundraiser and the field trip and the shit I got to pay for. So
This is an international league competition. So just want to.
tell your
Let you
mom to
know.
listen.
All
Bring the
different-
bread. Eat it,
For
Arby's.
Brad, for Riley, for Jason.
Doing
Let it breathe. Eat it,
Stuff.
Go
Arby's.
Rangers. Go Rangers.
Tell your mom to listen. Go
Let it
Ranger. We had a
breathe.
nacho.
And let it swing.
Go Ranger.
no vom.
Yep, and no vom. May you and yours have a vom free week.
Mm-hmm.
Happy holidays. We'll see you on the other side.